Everybody, thank you for joining me. This is Susan Lynn, psychic medium. I appreciate you visiting my channel today. I am a psychic and a medium, and as I do these videos for you, basically I'm connected to my spirit guides and they talk through me to you. And really interesting today that I'm going to do a video about politics. And to be honest with you, I've been pretty upset, you might say, for the past few days about the political situation in the United States. It just seems like we've made so many strides, right? With Biden and with a 50-50 Senate, and, you know, just so many things have started to become, I mean, never back to normal. So many things have become more normalized. And not to mention the vaccines, right? Most of us are being vaccinated. The people that want it are getting vaccinations. And, you know, we can really see a bright future in some ways, right? So we want to see that. We all need that. We all want to know that that's coming. But then we have times like this last week where, you know, the states are curtailing voting laws and making it illegal to give someone a bottle of water when they're trying to vote, when they're in line to vote, which just seems so egregious and so inhumane, right? And then representative in Georgia that got arrested trying to go into the Georgia, I guess you would say, whatever congressional room where they were holding they weren't even voting, actually. They were just signing into law more egregious voting restrictions, right? So that leads me to this video that I just did an hour ago, in which I ranted and raved and my guides kept telling me to calm down. And and I want to introduce something. I did this video, right, on how to raise your vibration. And I didn't include this, but I should have, because this thing right here, this is a what they call a steel tongue drum. So a steel tongue drum, and it looks very, you know, like whatever, until you play it, and it sounds absolutely amazing. Listen to that. So I play this in between my sessions because sound breaks up energy and it raises the vibration of your room. By the way, you can get these on Amazon or any other place for $50 all the way up to whatever we want to spend. And you don't have to be a musician. I simply just play it to calm myself down. So in the previous video, I literally had to pull this out in the video and play it like, I'm calm. And my guides kept saying, calm down. Even my dog was like, what is the matter with you? And I have to tell you that when you're upset like that, when you're really angry, or you're emotional, or even if you're experiencing grief, your guides really can't come in. So that video they were able to come in for parts of it, but there were other parts of it where I was just ranting and raving. And I have to tell you, you don't watch this channel for me ranting and raving. I can tell you after watching that video, I'm like, oh my God. So I calmed myself down to the best of my ability with my drum. And here I am again. Okay, so I want to tell you a few things that are really important. Yes, it's egregious. Yes, I am angry. Yes, we have every right to be very upset about not offering people water when they're standing in line in a hot day to vote, right? And maybe the line's hours long. But, you know, that's the reason why I want to do this video, is because they wanted me to talk to you about something that's really important, and they want to make sure that we are aware of it, okay? So what's happening is that the Republicans are using the playbook of the former guy. And what they're doing is they're just throwing so much stuff at us, right? I mean, it's just like 4 years ago when you would get 25 news stories in one day and you could only pay attention to 2, right? Now, maybe all the rest of those were barn burners. You know, they were all things that we needed to know about, but we just couldn't handle it. We couldn't take it in. So that's what they're continuing to do. So every day you're just getting these crazy stories, and it's just meant to muddy the waters. It's meant to make us tired. Because look, if they throw 100 things at us that are bad, 100 voting suppression laws, or 100, just terrible laws or court cases or whatever they are, and they only get 5 of those through. That's 5 victories, right? That's how they're going to win this, right? They're looking for those 5, 10 victories. So they're going to throw 200 things at us or 100 things at us and then hope that we give up and we just allow 5 to go through. It's really, it's crazy. It's subversive. It's just, it's a heck of a strategy, and it's really winning. So we have to, so my message to you from my guides, from your guides, from our guides, from the big guides, is to stay involved, stay engaged, for sure, do your self-care, whatever it is that self-care is for you, make sure you do that, right? Because we can't, we're not going to be able to get through this if we don't take care of ourselves. But they definitely want us to stay engaged to the degree that you can. Now, what does that mean? It doesn't mean necessarily watching the news all the time, because that's how I got really upset for 3 days in a row. Frankly, actually, it was Twitter that did it to me. It's information that I needed to know. I had to have a few days to really just, be angry about it. You know what I mean? Before I could regroup and then use that anger to be energized, right? Let that anger energize you, right? If you're upset about the various laws that are getting enacted within our states, against voting, or this young lady, being, I believe her name was, Representative Park Cannon, being arrested outside of the Georgia, State House doors there. If you're upset about that, you should be. You should be upset. But we can't let those things take over our whole body and make us sick or make us too tired to actually do something, right? So we're going to have to balance it. Okay. So I want to talk about that. I want you to be balanced, but I do want you to be involved. The guides came to me and said, you have to do something. Here's the thing. They will meet us. There's a saying in this realm that I live in, that says, if you take one step towards the universe, or one step towards God, or whatever source, whatever you want to call it, if you take one step, that God, source, universe will take 10 steps towards you. Okay. But nothing happens until you take that first step. So this could be applicable to anything. It could be applicable to changing your lifestyle, to a healthier lifestyle, learning to raise your vibration, getting a new job, finding a new partner. But it's also applicable to being a good citizen in your state, in your county, your city, your state, your country, right? So it's very applicable to that. Take that first step. Then they'll help you. They'll meet you. So how has this happened? This is what they want to talk about. They want to say, look, they're really taking it. They're really taking, when I'm connected to them, I can't think of words. They're taking credit for, these 2 senators winning the Georgia State House, the Georgia Senate, excuse me. If you've watched my channel for a while, you'll see that I predicted that way back then, because they told me it was karmic, because our Senate needed to be 50-50 with Kamala Harris being the tiebreaker. And the reason for that was that each side of the Senate would then be forced to work together to get bills out. Okay. To make laws happen. So that's why I knew that was going to happen, because they told me it's karmic. It is what it is. It's going to happen. Okay. So they said the same thing about, or they're saying the same thing. They said the same thing about Biden. Biden was going to get in. It's karmic. He's supposed to do this at this point in his life. This was his contract, right? This was what he was supposed to do. And now they're saying it about H.R. 1, which is the voting rights bill that came out of the House and is now in the Senate. And look, it looks impossible for it to win, but that's how the 2 Georgia senators looked too. They looked impossible to the actual votes were counted, right? So they're showing me we are trying to help you, right? We're trying to level the playing field. They're not going to give it to us. That's not our lesson here. That would be basically saying, here's the test and here's the answers, right? No, they're just trying to help us have an opportunity to take the test, right? If we don't have a vote, we don't have a test to even take the test, right? The vote is the test. How we vote is our test. And so they want to make sure that we have the opportunity to vote. Okay, does that make sense to you guys? So yes, they're going to shine light around HR 1. And I do believe that it's going to pass. And I do think you're going to hear something like surprise vote by Joe Manchin, or, you know, you're going to hear some kind of thing that just sounds like this was a surprise thing that happened, whatever. I do think the Democrats are working behind the scenes with Joe Manchin, saying, look, we have money now, because all of us have been donating, right? And we can help you with your campaign, but you know, you got to get on board with us. You know, what are you going to do for us, right? And maybe they're kind of making some backroom deal to get Joe Manchin to actually vote on this, right? So, I don't know. I can't tell you how. It's magic. That's why I can't describe it. It just happens. Okay. So there is that. There's a lot to be excited about. We are getting vaccinated. There's a lot of things to be excited about here. But at the same time, and they're saying to me, we know you're tired. We know you're tired. You've been battered. We're all light workers. If you're watching me, you're watching my mouth move up and down and words come out, you're a light worker. Okay. What does that mean? You spread light. You emanate light. You want what's best for everybody, right? So you're a light worker. So, and that means you're tired. That means you're really tired. And that's why I did the video on raising your vibration. And that's why we use this drum, right? To help us calm down, relax, and to bring our vibrations higher. So even though you're tired, they still need you to meet them halfway, or at least take some steps towards them. Okay. So they can't do this on their own. So we are going to have to be more involved. This is what they're talking about. They want to tell you that democracy is under attack, that the way of life, the way of our life is under attack right now. They're using the words oligarch and oligarchy, which I think means, you know, a small group of people controlling a larger group of people, right? And that's basically what the Republicans want. You'll see, I will put some things on the screen that will show you how the Republicans represent, their votes don't represent the numbers of people that the Democrats represent. So every Democrat represents way more people in the United States than the Republicans do. Okay, because the Senate only has a certain number of senators, right? And that's locked in. That's just locked in. So you have a state like Wyoming has a lot of power, right? Because even though they only represent a small number of people, that one senator, the same senator in California represents so many more people. Right? So it's kind of a baked in disparity from the beginning, but then it's exacerbated. It's exacerbated because what needs to happen is that more numbers of people, of Democrats, need to vote to overcome those. You know, we need more representatives, House of Representatives people. We need more votes to overcome that Republican baked in already advantage, right? And so we did that. We did that. We went to the polls in record numbers, and we went to the polls in record numbers wearing masks during a pandemic. We actually risked our lives to vote. And you know what happened? That scared the bejesus out of the Republicans. They looked out there and saw all those working class minorities in those long lines, willing to stand in line with their kids, whatever. You know, in the weather, and they thought these people are coming for us. They're coming for us, and that is true. So what did they do? They decided we need to take their voting laws away. We need to restrict their voting. We'll just restrict their voting. That's how we'll do it. And this is how they're controlling us. Now, here's the problem. Here's what I want to tell you about that, right? If we don't do something to stop these voting laws. Now, HR 1 is going to go through, and that's why I can't get too, I mean, I'm sorry, but it's what it is. I can't get too excited about these state level laws because for one thing, they're going to be thrown out and whatnot, and HR 1 is going to just cut them off at the knees, right? It's not that. It's the fact that the Republicans are doing this mind game with Americans, right? Like I said, there's, all these news stories, and we can't deal with it, right? And so we just check out. So these things they're doing in the States, they know they're futile. They know that. They know the majority of them are going to get thrown out in district courts, federal courts, or maybe even the Supreme Court. They know that. But why are they doing it? To wear us out, to wear us down, to keep us down. To make us feel overwhelmed, to make us feel like it will never win. It's over. We just give up. They're trying to make us give up. That's what all this is about, is just making us give up. So that's why the guides that's why the guides want you to raise your vibration. That's why they want you to take care of yourselves, because we can't give up. We can't. Because if we do, let's say that they do win and they restrict voting. Okay. Do you guys see how huge numbers of our people are not being represented? Right? Nobody's hearing our voice. Nobody cares, especially right now with the Senate, and they don't care. They just make laws, whatever they want to do. They're not popular. They don't have the popular vote. They don't have the popular support, but yet they're making the laws. So you see the disconnect? So what's going to happen is all these people who are not having their voices heard, they're going to get in the streets. And this is what they showed me. This is exactly what they showed me. If you look back about 8 months ago, you will see that I talked about this, because this is what they showed me. They showed me, not only the Black Lives Matter groups, but everybody. I mean, we're talking everybody is disenfranchised. So all those people are going to get in the streets. Well, who else is going to get in the streets with them? The agitators, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers. They're going to get in there. And they're going to start mixing it up. And then you're going to have violence. And then you're going to have out of control civil, disruption, civil unrest. Now, this might happen anyway, sadly, because my guides have showed me this happening, and they've showed me actually Kamala Harris being president. And they've showed me Kamala Harris being not terribly popular in a sense, because she's very law and order. And if you're in the street and you're breaking rules, she's going to put you in jail. And she don't care who you're from. She don't care if you're BLM or you're a Proud Boy. She does not care. She's going to put you in jail. So she's very fair, right, in that sense. But she won't be seen as really being liked by the right or the left, right? The middle might like her, but the right and the left, the ones in the middle, the ones in the street mixing it up, are not going to like her, right? So this is where we're going. This is the future that they've showed me. How do we avoid that? Well, we start having our votes counted. We start having our voices heard. We start being represented in the Senate, in the Congress, right? Now, how do we do that? Well, first of all, we have a year. We don't have a year. We have tomorrow. We need to start working tomorrow. We've got the 2022 midterm elections coming, and they're big. They're really big things. The midterms don't always draw a lot of voters. They don't draw a lot of attention, but it's really too bad, because a lot of governors are voted in the midterms, a lot of senators, a lot of representatives. So, we need to pay attention here. We have an opportunity. I think that's why the guides are having me do this video today, because we have an opportunity to really change the future, to change the outcome of some of these things. Now, how can we use this opportunity is because we can start campaigning now. We really have to get involved. If you have extra dollars in your bank account, which means, and you've heard me talk about this, if you're really good financially and you've got plenty of savings, then please join me in sending these people $5, $10. If we all, if hundreds or thousands of us sent one of these people $5, It would make a big difference in their campaign, and it would give them the edge to win. So that's the first thing. We are battling disinformation. We're battling propaganda. We're battling, to be honest with you, psychological warfare. That's how these Q people got queued up. Okay, so we're battling that, and what it's going to take to win over communities and cities and towns and not countries, but in states is money. Is money. So we need to help them with as many donations. Donate across the board. I know many of us do. But we need to probably be a little bit more intentional, meaning go do your research, and maybe I'll do a video. What are the 5 at risk or the 5 candidacies that could really turn things around, and then really get behind those people, right? I know there's somebody running against Marjorie Taylor Greene who's awesome. So, there are people out there that are taking these people on. We need to really support them. Okay. Now, if you don't have $5 in your account, many of us don't, then, get involved in your local community. We're hopefully coming to the end of this pandemic, and you can still wear your mask, but you've probably got your vaccine, and you can go back to your Democrat club. You can go back to that club. Get it started now. Let's not wait till next year. Let's not put this off. Let's start right now. Okay. Get involved right now with your local candidate. Get involved and help them. A really big thing the guides had said to me was that we need to show up at their rallies, or if they're speaking somewhere, even if they're at the library, the public library, talking to kids, we need to show up, because the news follows people that have people. So if your person in your town only, has 10 people showing up at their rallies, or even 20, the news isn't going to be there. That's not going to make it. Remember, the news has all these barn burning things, and they need something that's pretty high to get on the news. Well, we need our candidate on the news. So what do we need? We need 100 people to show up. We need 75, 100 people to show up at their things. Make them look popular. Make them look powerful, right? Support them in any way you can. Write postcards for them, phone bank for them. If you can't actually get out of the house, you can phone bank. Did you know that you can use your cell phone? And they have ways, especially Beto in Texas did this. You can use your phone wherever you are, and you can join a text brigade and just send out text, for a couple of hours a week. That's the kind of thing that we need to do. When we step up, the universe will meet us and help us and lift us up. Okay. But let's try to stay supportive of each other. Let's try to stay together, because, the Republicans are really trying to rip us apart. They're trying to divide us. They're trying to divide the Bernie people from the Hillary people the way they did before. They're trying to divide all of us from each other, because that is how you win, divide and conquer. So every time somebody says something against somebody else, if it's just an opinion, it's an opinion. We all have our opinions. But what I would like to say is, let's just try to work together for the better good, for the bigger good, right? Yes, people can always be better. You can nitpick anybody to death. You sure can. You might not agree with all of their stances. That's true too. But you know what? For the greater good, we have to stay together. We have to stay together and work towards that goal. Right? So try to support each other. Try not to nitpick each other. Try not to be judgmental of candidates. I know you, the liberals. I'm left. I'm left of center by quite a bit, but I still have to support Biden, because he's getting work done. Is he perfect? No. Did he do some things I don't agree with? Yeah, but he's getting way more done than we even thought. So I'm supporting him. I'm supporting Biden. I think he's done a great job. And I think he's the right president, to be honest with you. And he wasn't my first choice. So you see, I'm walking the talk here. I'm walking the talk. So hopefully, let me ask them if they have anything else they want to talk to you about. They do want to have to take a deep breath, because this next guy just makes me want to jump off a bridge or something. He makes me want to do this. I'm like, my last video, I was like, okay, I'm okay. I was banging banging the drum and talking about donuts. If you guys watch me, you know that that's kind of like the thing I do when I'm stressed out. I need a donut. I want to talk just briefly about Michael Sherman. He's the DOJ prosecutor, meaning the Department of Justice, meaning government prosecutor. He was under the old guy, the former guy. I'm deleting a bunch of things I want to say. And he went on 60 Minutes. And he went on there with this altruistic, I think, platform. But what my guides want to say is that he's not altruistic, that he is speaking out of both sides of his mouth. He's not what he says he is. He's not trying to, he is not justice. This man is, duplicitous, right? I mean, he's literally talking out of both sides of his mouth. By doing that, by getting on 60 Minutes, he now can be called as a witness for the Proud Boys or for the Oath Keepers or for Donald Trump. Now, this man worked for Donald Trump. Now, do you guys really think that he's going to be fair and judicial and balanced? No, he's not going to be. He's not. So, that made me really mad because, again, it's like we're just getting hit from like every possible angle, right? We're getting pelted by hundreds and thousands of these disinformation and confusing and propaganda, just constantly. It's just constant, right? And even if you're a really tuned in person and a really astute person, and maybe you're a critical thinking person, it's still hard. It's still hard to figure it out. Now, if you're just a doop-de-doop-de-doo kind of person, you're just going to be like, oh, wow, that guy's really cool. He's really, you're going to be duped. You're going to be duped. So we have to be careful with this. There's a lot of energy around him. He's not a good person. This is not a good thing. It's meant to harm us. It's meant to cause disruption of our judicial system, meaning that not the system, but the judicial process, I should say, the process. So in the courtroom. So there's that thing going on. I don't think, I'm just looking at my, oversaturate the U.S. with misinformation is what they're doing. I think that's really what I want to talk about. I think that my message to you, the guide's message to you is raise your vibration, take care of yourself. This isn't over. It's going to be a bit of a long haul. So we need to maybe rethink how we're going to get through this, right? We're coming out of this really crazy year where we were in a pandemic, and I think most of us were deer in headlights, like I know that I was. The whole table just shook for some reason. But I feel like now we're coming out of it. So here's the thing. We were using adrenaline. We were in an adrenaline filled year where we were just, fight or flight. And what happens after the adrenaline disappears? Like let's say you're in a close call or you're in an argument or something. And then afterwards is when you fall apart, right? After that is when after the car accident, that night, the next day, that's when you literally fall apart because the adrenaline isn't keeping you, on edge anymore. And then you can actually process the emotions. So I feel like going forward into these next couple of months, that's where we're going to be. We're all going to be weepy. We're all going to be angry. We're all going to be upset. And it's just because we're processing the emotions from that terrible year and the 3 years preceding it, right? We're just processing everything we've been through. It's a lot, right? So the guides want you to know that yes, you need to process your emotions, and yes, you need to be on board with all of that because it's important, and you need to take care of yourself and honor yourself, and honor that you've been through a lot, and honor that we've lost a lot. Then we need to kind of pick ourselves up and get going. We need to be sure to not get lost in that. Don't get lost in depression. Don't get lost in this, we can't win. We can't win. It's just too much. I'm giving up. Let's not get lost in that, okay? Because the universe is here to help us. They're here to meet us. They need us to just do a little bit more work. They need us to just be a little bit more engaged. So that's what they want to say. Stay engaged. Don't overwhelm yourself with news, but stay engaged with your local politics. Pick a target and stay very focused, because all of this external stuff is really going to keep you from getting anything done. It's going to keep you from being, feeling okay and feeling like you're getting something done, like you're doing something. Okay. That's what the main message is. This external stuff is really going to be too much for us. And it's going to just take us out. We're going to be sidelined. And we can't be sidelined right now. That's how important this is. I think that's the whole reason they want me to do this message. Hopefully you've watched to the end and you've seen this message, and you can now get the benefit of some more calming. Okay? Calm, loving energy, right? You should have seen the other video. Maybe I'll do a clip just so you can see how crazy I was. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe. We've got a lot coming at us now, and you'll want to hear what the guides have to say about it, because I do think it's helpful. I just want to send you big love and light. Take care, and we will be in touch soon. You know what I feel like doing? I feel like banging this bowl. Okay, I'm going to calm down. I'm going to calm down. Okay. I'm not kidding, you guys. I'm about this close to just getting Krispy Kreme chocolate donuts, or, Shipley's. When I grew up in Kentucky, it was Krispy Kreme. Here it's Shipley's. I don't care. I'm an equal opportunity donut eater. It's all right. And they don't calm you down. Let me just tell you that. Donuts, none of that stuff calms you down. But you know what? This does. So, this is the shit. For entertainment purposes only.